Thank you, Senator. And thank you to Senator Van Hollen for your attention to these matters. My name, as you said, is Ben McKenzie Shanken. I'm an author and filmmaker. I spent the last several years documenting fraud and other criminal activity in the cryptocurrency industry. It is timely that we are here today as Congress considers new legislation, the Clarity Act, to regulate the crypto sector. I believe we are at a point of crisis when it comes to crypto's influence over our legislative process. Recent reporting from just last week reveals a foreign company that issues a cryptocurrency used by major criminal organizations appears to have shaped Trump's signature piece of legislation, the Genius Act, while at the same time forging deep financial relationships with members of the executive branch. When it comes to potential crypto crimes, the call is coming from inside the White House. Some relevant background. In the midst of running for re-election in 2024, Donald Trump suddenly pivoted to embracing cryptocurrency, having previously called it a scam as recently as 2021. At the same time, Trump developed close ties to Howard Lutnick, the then chairman and CEO of financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald. Lutnick was a major fundraiser for Trump's campaign. According to the New York Times, he donated or raised more than $75 million for groups supporting Mr. Trump in the 2024 cycle. When Trump was reelected, he nominated Lutnick to be Secretary of Commerce, an office which he now holds. Lutnick has an extensive financial relationship with the largest crypto company in the world, Tether. Cantor Fitzgerald was then and remains to this day the broker for the offshore crypto giant. Not only that, but in 2024, Lutnick negotiated a deal that allowed Cantor to purchase a stake in Tether, worth multiple billions of dollars for only $600 million. Tether has issued 184 billion Tether tokens it claims are backed by $184 billion of real money and investments, but to this day, we still don't know if those claims are true. Tether has never been audited, and in 2021, the company paid $61 million to settle claims brought by the New York Attorney General and the CFTC that it misled investors about its reserves. Much has been written about how Tether is used by organized crime all over the world. In a UN report from 2024, it notes that Tether is the, quote, preferred choice for crypto money launderers in Southeast Asia. Tethers have been used for international drug cartels, as well as by terrorist organizations like Hamas. They have been used for sanctions evasion and tax evasion in countries like Russia and Iran. The fact that our current Secretary of Commerce has a financial relationship with a company that issues a product which is an interest let me start over. The fact that our current Secretary of Commerce has a financial relationship with a company that issues a product which is an instrument of crime on a global scale ought to be troubling enough to warrant further investigation. But recent reporting lays out an even more disturbing fact pattern. Last week, Bloomberg released its investigation into how Tether influenced the White House on the Genius Act via Lutnick and Bo Hines, the then 29-year-old former college football player who was appointed executive director of the President's Council of Advisors on Digital Assets. According to Bloomberg, in late 24, through the following spring, Lutnick and Hines worked behind the scenes to loosen safeguards and shape the law in ways that benefited the world's dominant stablecoin issuer, Tether. What did Tether get out of the Genius Act? Under what is known as the reciprocity loophole, the Genius Act allows for Tether stablecoin to be regulated by El Salvador, as long as the U.S. Treasury Secretary determines the Salvadoran regulatory regime to be comparable to that of the U.S. In the course of my reporting, I have traveled to El Salvador, and I would be happy to answer any questions as to my experience there. But to put it mildly, Tether's relationship to El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, is unusual. In addition to the reciprocity provision, the Genius Act carved out the DeFi loophole that absolves crypto companies like Tether from any obligation to track their products on secondary markets. This means criminals of all kinds can continue to use Tethers while the company can continue to claim no responsibility. Lastly, the Genius Act contains a 3-year grace period before companies like Tether have to comply with U.S. law. According to Bloomberg, some Democrats wanted 18 months, But Hines stepped in and announced that 3 years was the White House's, quote, red line. Where did this red line come from? Was it at the behest of Tether executives? In August 2025, Bo Hines left his position in the administration 1 month after the bill was signed into law. The very next month, he became the CEO of Tether's U.S. operations. The month after that, October 2025, Tether executives made a loan to a trust benefiting Howard Lutnick's children as they were in the process of purchasing their father's business interests. It's worth noting that the Trump family itself has also profited from Tether, albeit indirectly. In December 2024, Tether invested $775 million in the money-losing company Rumble, which runs President Trump's Truth Social platform. We still don't know the exact contours of the financial relationships between President Trump, Secretary Lutnick, Bo Hines, and Tether. But one thing is abundantly clear. The Lutnick family, Bo Hines, and the President of the United States have benefited from their relationships with the shady offshore crypto company. We can't vote on clarity unless we know what happened with the Genius Act. The American public deserves to know more about their financial ties to Tether. I encourage the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations to pursue that line of inquiry. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions.